Okay then, welcome to a tour of Britannia Club balcony cabin 7067 on Queen Victoria. We've been on a Britannia balcony before on this ship on deck 6, and this is very similar. Slight differences but not very many, and if you compare that with our previous cabin video, you'll see for yourself. So, as you would expect, you come through the door and you got all the emergency details in English, French, German, and I'm going to assume that's Spanish on the end there. You've got the usual magnetic "make up my stateroom" or "privacy please" little magnet thing for the door, which is very helpful to the stewards. We got a very gentle rap on the wrist the other day for not putting it outside when we went out for the day, and it delayed him very slightly in cleaning the cabin out because he knew that we normally did and assumed that we were inside. So very gentle tap on the wrist, nothing nasty about it, but it's a point to bear in mind, which we will. So, in terms of storage, you've got plenty. You've got a nice sized double wardrobe there, full length, with one life jacket in the top. You've got this, which has got shelves in for clothes. Your safe, which is the normal sized safe that you would expect to find in most cruise ships, will hold probably a smallish iPad, but certainly not probably even a small MacBook Air or Chromebook or something like that. And then a slightly larger space at the bottom where you could put some cases, but we haven't needed to. Ours went under the bed. And then we have another full height wardrobe there, and the other life jacket. So really there's plenty of space, as we found when we were on for 2 weeks last year. There's plenty of room for a good week, and there are laundrettes on all the residential floors, or most of the residential floors anyway, and they're free. Probably the most disappointing part of the whole cabin is the bathroom. There's nothing wrong with it, it's adequate, but that's about all you can say for it. It really is quite small. There's everything you want, there's enough room, you're not got your knees banging into anything when you're using the toilet, and you've got Penhaligons toiletries, and in there you've got cotton buds and cotton wool balls for removing your makeup and what have you. More Penhaligon stuff there, and my bits and bobs, but you've got everything you want. You've got tissues, a dustbin on the bottom shelf, spare toilet roll and so on, hand towels, bath mat, the dreaded shower curtain, although it does seem to be the type that doesn't stick, but that shower, that is a bit cute, shall we say. I'm not massive by any stretch of the imagination. I'm about 6 feet tall. I can get in there and I can turn round, but I can't do any more than that. And the shower head, typical Cunard, is fixed and quite low. So for me, that's not much higher than my nose. So I have to duck if I want to wash my hair. It's not the end of the world. The water is plentiful and it's hot. Never a problem. So everything works, everything's fine, but it's not any bigger than it needs to be. it's a bit on the neat side. But as I say, our cabin steward Alfie's been brilliant with the whole cabin. He does 2 turn downs still on Cunard, and every time he'll check the bathroom. I had a shower yesterday afternoon as well as in the morning because we came back from La Rochelle and it was a bit, I felt a bit sweaty before we went down to the gala night, so I had another shower. When we came back after dinner, Alfie had been in, he checked through, lo and behold he'd dried the bathroom out and put a new bath mat down, so we've been very well looked after. There's my good lady. Hello, darling. Typical Cunard, you've got nothing, no sockets or anything by the bed, just switches. You've got quite a good little lamp, 3 drawers in the bedside cabinet, plenty of room around the bed, which is nice. All the way around this bed there's plenty of room to move around, which we very much appreciate. I can't bear shuffling around a bed. It's not great at the best of times. But yeah, artwork on the wall is quite nice. It's a pleasant space. The bed's been great, been very comfortable. Cunard linens are well renowned for being absolutely fantastic. We had one tiny problem with it. I felt something under, I thought it was a spring coming through the mattress. Thought I might have to have Alfie have a look at it, and when I had a little bit of investigation, realised it moved with the sheet, not with the mattress. So I had a Ferkel and came out with a tiny piece of plastic, little T-shaped thing, the kind of thing you get when you buy something like a pair of gloves, and you get a little plastic tie which you cut in half. It's the T-end of one of those. Goodness knows how it got in there. It certainly wouldn't have been deliberate, but a bit like having a stone in your shoe. You get something the size of a match head and it feels the size of a house brick, and that same was true with that. Anyway, back to the cabin tour. We've got the telly currently showing the bow cam as we go through the edge of the Bay of Biscay towards the channel. And the captain just told us we've got 3 to 4 metres swell, and the ship is certainly moving. She's not pitching and rolling too badly. Nobody's being seasick, but we can certainly feel it. Makes walking down the corridors entertaining at times. You feel rather drunk, but be that as it may, you've got a nice 2-seater sofa, very comfortable, and a little table there. There's my bedside cabinet, as exactly the same, no sockets, no nothing. Old Paulie Panda is snuck into my suitcase again. We're back on a Paul and Carol Patreon cruise this time, and it's been great fun. So I do recommend that you at least have a look at the Paul and Carol Love to Travel YouTube vlogging channel and other social media. They're a great down-to-earth couple who've turned into very great friends. This side we've got a desk with all your sockets. You've got an American socket which is 115 volts. You've got and a switch for the lights above. You've then got a UK 220 40 volt socket. You've got an American 115 volt again, a European 220, the telephone, which we've never needed to use. We've had 2 bottles of booze, one that you get complimentary just for coming on board, and we've got another one, slightly smaller one, for Easter, which we haven't made use of. You've got a mini bar down here which is chargeable, which we haven't used. but in Britannia Club you do get Harrogate spring water provided free. That's not chargeable, that's included with the price. And you also get this coffee maker. Now, we have got it to work, it does work, it works absolutely fine. The problem for us is it only makes espresso sized drinks, which we don't use. So although we've tried it and it works, we haven't used it more than once. Otherwise we just brew teas and coffees as we need them. And there's everything you've got. You've got Twinings everyday tea is provided. There's more varieties up in the Lido buffet which you can bring back if you need to. You've got packets of biscuits, milk in the back there, and the full fat and decaffeinated coffee pods for the coffee maker. Here you've got a drawer with the hairdryer in it, which Ruth says works very well. She's perfectly happy with that. Nice comfy chair and a rather shallow drawer there, which I haven't really found a use for. The balcony, I'll do the lock, Keithy, you'll do a lot better. The balcony is a fairly typical size, very much the same as we've had elsewhere on Cunard. So this is our third voyage with the company, 2 on Queen Victoria and 1 on Queen Mary. Fairly typical size balcony. And we're on deck 7. So we've got a good view out. And the swell is up to 4 metres. I don't know how well that's showing up here, and it is down a little bit. But the ship is definitely moving still. And if I show you along the front of towards the bow, you've got to see it rising and falling as we progress. So, the question is really, is it worth spending the extra on Britannia Club? Kind of how long is a piece of string? It's really the cost. You get priority boarding, which is nice, but then again, when we got on at Southampton a week ago, nearly 6 days ago, it was well spaced, and it really wouldn't have made a lot of difference if we hadn't had priority boarding. We get to eat in our own restaurant, which is anytime dining, but it doesn't start until 6:30, and sometimes that can make it quite difficult to get to the 8 o'clock theatre show. The food's been very good throughout, and the advantage with being in the Britannia Club restaurant is you not only get the daily menu, there's also a fixed a la carte menu that you can choose from at no extra charge. And that includes a flambé. And I had a flambé one night and it was very nice. But really, you don't get an awful lot more for that. So if you can get it at a decent price, then yes, it's worth it. So we're going on Queen Anne in December, and we're back in club because it was very little difference when we looked to book it. But we have, while we're on board, we've booked to go on Queen Elizabeth to the fjords in February, and I've got to say, the onboard credit we got for booking on board the ship was very good. We got a real bargain, there's no doubt about that. But when we looked at the price difference between Britannia and Britannia Club, it was significant. So that time we're going in Britannia because it just isn't worth the grief. So yeah, will we come in here again? Yeah, the Cunard balcony cabins are perfectly adequate, whether it's Britannia or Britannia Club. There's nothing wrong with the accommodation, but is it worth the difference in cost? Depends what the difference in cost is. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.